Okay guys, so today I'm going to do a very brief video on how to add non-ACE items to our inventory or our inventory system. So we only work with two vendors right now, one of them being Still. This is going to be our Still latest order. The second one being from Sam's Club. So pretty much I'm going to show you how to add it to our inventory. So we're going to go ahead and work with Eagle Browser. You can see this little window here. It's a little blue house. Click that open and log in with your credentials. So I already had mine open. On the launch bar up here, we're going to press IMU. IMU is for inventory maintenance, which is where we do a lot of our inventory maintenance work. Okay, so first things first is the thing I'm going to add. I have my receipt for it. We just bought carburetors for our Still units. What I'm going to try to start off with is to get something from the floor that comes from ACE that would be considered in the same family. So I'm going to go ahead and choose this throttle control kit because it's the same as the carburetor, having to do with like lawn units and their accessories. So now that I have something similar, if I was working with a Still weeder, I would pick something like this one here, which I have because we were adding something earlier. I would pick a weeder. If I was working with, let's say we brought in a Sam's Club sparkling water, I would go on the fridge and get something that was familiar to sparkling water and then copy that information. So going back to our carburetor, I'm going to pick that open there. And then it populates all the information here. The three areas or the three little sections that I want you to pay attention to are the department, the class, and then the fine line. So I'm going to go ahead and copy and imitate these three departments here. The first one being, hi, welcome, 76 for the department, 735 for the class, and then 73509 for the fine line. If you want to take a deeper look for the department, if we down drop 76, we can see that 76 is the department for outdoor equipment and power tools. So that goes perfectly well with our carburetor for Still. We look at the class, 735 is for power equipment repair, which is exactly for what we're trying to do. And then the fine line here, it's going to be for specialty parts. So just a reminder, we are going to be adding a Still part. It's going to be a carburetor. So this is perfect. This is exactly what I want to imitate. Now that we have that information, we're going to clear this up and we're going to get to work. So we're going to have to come up with a SKU number. Step number one, SKU number. I always like to do the last five of the UPC code. In this case being 51405. So 51405. We just created a SKU number that's going to be specifically assigned to the carburetor here for Still. Number two is I'm gonna put in a brief description. So I'm just gonna copy the description that they have here, which is carburetor C1MS2. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna start with Still and then put carburetor. I'm gonna abbreviate C1M space S2 because that's what Still has it described as, okay? Step number three is we're going to fill in the department, the class, and the fine line just as we copied from our ACE product. So I remember the department was 76, the class was 735, and then the fine line was 7309. All right. The next step is going to be to fill out the UPC. So we're going to go ahead and click on this hyperlink here. It imitated the SKU number we gave it. So now here on new UPC, I'm going to go ahead and type in the UPC provided on the item, which is actually down here on my invoice. So 795711951 and I'm going to press add. And then it adds it. Okay, so we just created that UPC, we added it, we're going to close it here. Okay, so now that we have the SKU number, a brief description, we have the three department, class, and fine line, and we added our UPC. Now we're going to press add right over here, that green button. Okay, so you see down here where it says records added. So now we're officially in. So the record has been added. Second step. Now we're going to start filling in the stocking. So quantity on hand. How many did I buy? It looks like we only bought one. So we're going to put in here 1. Next thing is location. The location for all our steel units is aisle 14, right side, 05. So the location would be 14, right 5. After we added the quantity on hand and the location, we're gonna go up here and press change. Okay, and then down here we have a notification saying store specific data changed in this record. Perfect. Okay, step number 3, we're gonna do pricing. So we're gonna click on this tab right here. The retail pricing for this, the good thing is I have my invoice like I keep mentioning, so it gives me everything that I need. The retail for this is $47.99. So I'm gonna go ahead and do $47.99. And then I'm gonna go over here for gross profit column, down here for replacement. Now the cost that I bought this at was $33.59. So I'm gonna go ahead and put $33.59. Once I have these two filled in, I'm gonna go back over here and press change. Again, you see this pop up again, store specific data changed in this record. And that's pretty much it. So the very last thing that was advised to us by the Epicor hotline was to always, after you're done doing everything, go ahead and put display right here. Click display on this blue one, this little computer. And we're gonna press change for finalizing all the items. Okay, so that should cover everything. Now, I'm gonna close this. I'm gonna go to my POS down here for my little cash register. I'm gonna open that up. I'm gonna log in. And I am going to pretend that I'm gonna sell a carburetor. So I'm gonna, if I had the carburetor, I would scan it. I don't have it, so I'm gonna type in the SKU. 795-711-951405. How many? 1, enter. And I can see that it's been in the system. I'm gonna sell 1 at $47.99. I can see the location and success. So before I let you go, I'm gonna do it one more time. We're just gonna do it much quicker. Okay, so we're gonna do it one more time. This time we're gonna be doing a Coca-Cola Zero Sugar from Sam's Club. And the best thing that I want you to try to cover first is something similar from the Ace Care Center, the Ace warehouse. In this case, we're just gonna grab a sarsaparilla, which is also Coca-Cola, and we're gonna imitate this one. So that's how we're gonna start. You're gonna go to, again, if you have to see it one more time, to the Eagle Browser Blue House right here. Once you have that right open, here on the launch bar, we're gonna do IMU, enter. We're gonna start with making note of what we're copying. We're copying a soda bottle from the Ace vendor, enter. We're just gonna copy the department, class, and the fine line. So department number 94, the class is number 934, and then the fine line is 93404. Again, just to show you, these are predetermined by the Ace Care Center. So they do all the hard work for us. Notions and miscellaneous. The class is gonna be water and beverages, and then the fine line here is gonna be soda and pop, which is exactly what we're trying to do. So then we're gonna go up here and clear. And now we're gonna get to the nitty gritty. So we're gonna start with our Coke, our zero sugar. So just copy the last 5 for the SKU. You're gonna do 45840. Description, start with the size because we can have a zero sugar Coca-Cola in 24 or 32. So the best way to identify that we're selling these is by the size. So let's start with 16.9 OZ. That's gonna be the ounces. And then it's a zero sugar. I'm gonna put sugar, Coke, just so I know. And I might even add plastic because sometimes we have the same thing in glass or can. All right, so now we have this, this, and this. So we're gonna jump down here to department. Remember we said 94, 934. And then the fine line was 93404. Okay, UPC. We're gonna click this open in this little window here. Since we have our UPC on hand, I'm just gonna scan it in there. Press add. Done. Close. Now we're gonna go ahead and you see this little green button. Everything we just inserted, we're gonna press add. Once we have add, then it creates a record for us. It says record added. So now we're ready to move things around on the tab. So let's start with the stocking. Quantity on hand, we have 24. The location for this is gonna be the fridge. For most sodas, we like them cold, so most likely they're all gonna be on the fridge. After we change something in a tab, always go up here and press change. And then you'll see here, store specific data changed. Next tab over is gonna be pricing. This is gonna retail at $2.59. And then the replacement for this is gonna be $1.89. Get this from the invoice. So if you got this from Sam's Club, we're gonna need the Sam's Club receipt, or we're gonna need some kind of information from the one who bought it so we can complete this and this. So once we put something in there, we're gonna press change. Okay, source specific data change in this record down here. Before I close it out, because we're pretty much done, I just want to remind you, if you need to create a barcode for it, you're gonna go to codes, very bottom option for print codes, and you can either save to batch or print immediately. Make sure you click the correct printer. And if you want to see what's in there, yeah, it's on here now, so you can print it from here or start creating a batch. If you're doing all the Sam's Club inventory, you can do it from there. Once you're done from here, the very last thing that Eagle Browser suggested that we do was that we hit display right here and we hit change. And that's it. Now we've added it. So final check, let's check our work. We're gonna close that up. We're gonna go down here for our POS. And now on here, we're gonna go ahead and scan our soda. Everything we created is down here. The SKU number, the description, one, and the price. Enter, and voila, good job.